Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes.
In an organization where the end game is a title, no baseball in October was unacceptable in my first year as Yankees manager.
We just want to take this moment to salute you, the greatest fans in the world.
As we closed out the old, we welcome in the new, along with new faces and a new home.
Let's do it for the first time here at the new Yankee Stadium, 161st Street and River Avenue.
Early struggles threatened great expectations, but our team showed unbreakable resolve, heartened by the return of a missing piece who made his presence felt immediately.
See ya! Alex Rodriguez, his first swing back, a 3-run home run.
There was a shift, and our team moved as one, often demonstrating a flair for the dramatics along the way.
3 walk-off wins for the Yankees, straight.
Fresh energy in the clubhouse, combined with legendary feats by 2 future Hall of Famers, fueled our team.
The 500th save for Mariano Rivera, the second in history to reach that plateau.
For 72 years, Lou Gehrig has been the Yankees' all-time hits leader. Now, it's Derek Jeter.
But when you're the Yankees, the real test comes in the postseason as we work to add the 27th title to the club's resume. Unsung heroes emerged and superstars shine. Big hits, big plays, clutch pitching lit up the world's greatest stage. When the curtain fell, we were the last team standing and back on top of baseball world.
The Yankees win! The New York Yankees have reached the pinnacle of the baseball world.
Today, we honor the great team of ours and the many icons that came before us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Old Timers Day.
It is a day unlike any other. One day a year, standing room only at Yankee Stadium. It's Old Timers Day, the 76th edition, featuring a celebration of the 2009 World Series champions. In fact, Jack Curry's with me as always. Jack, it's a day to enjoy the company of so many championship caliber players.
Yeah, it's a day about nostalgia and history and honoring what previous Yankee players have done. When this day appears on the baseball calendar, Bob, you automatically know it's a special day. And some of these players that are appearing on our screen right now, they're a part of the reason why the Yankees are such a special organization.
And what a common thread, Jack, between the teams who won championships in the 90s to that 2009 team. And you wonder if any of those threads extend to this team in 2024.
Covering this day as a reporter, Bob, I was always wondering what player was coming around the corner or essentially coming on the field next. So as you said, whether it's somebody like CC Sabathia or Bucky Dent or Tino Martinez, you're looking at that player, and in my mind, I immediately have their resume locked in and saying that's what he did to help add to that Yankee history.
Well, it is great to have you with us here at Yankee Stadium. Our Old Timers Day coverage continuing, but it is a celebration of that 2009 World Series championship team. So let's take a look at that World Series championship team and the resume of that team. They went 103-59 in the regular season. They beat the Phillies in the World Series 4-2. They inaugurated the first season of Yankee Stadium with a championship, and there were 17 walk-off wins that season, including 2 in the postseason. That was a season filled with magic, and the head magician joins us at the desk right now, our colleague Joe Girardi, and we'll talk all about that team in a second. But Jack mentioned this. I feel like Old Timers Day, your head, as you walk around, it's got to be on a swivel, right? Like all of a sudden, oh, there's Jeet, there's Posada, there's Tino, there's Hideki. There's so many friends and colleagues here for you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see all the players that meant so much to my career. And I had an opportunity to play with and also to manage. And it's just so great. We saw so many guys last night, you know, like guys I hadn't seen in a while. Jose Molino, Damaso Marte. You know, obviously I'd seen Jeet and I'd seen a lot of the other guys, but it was just good to see him. I saw Eric Hinske, who I have not seen for years. And that's what's special. Even though you don't see him for years, you feel like you're still like this.
Joe, you guys added CC, Burnett, and Teixeira in the offseason. So the organization was sending a message. Not making the playoffs, unacceptable. Here are all these new players. Make it work. How did you make it work?
Yeah, well, I was the beneficiary of that. I remember telling Jason Zilla when we were in Toronto in 2008, it was the end of the year, and we were having some exit meetings with players, and I think A.J. Burnett had beat us for like the 5th time that year because you were playing 18 games, in between your division. And I said, if we went out and got CC, we went out and got AJ, and we got Tex, we'll win the World Series next year. And he's like, yeah, right, we're going to get all those guys. And lo and behold, ownership, the front office, everyone stepped up and made that possible, and that's what we did.
That was like a Christmas list that fell out of your back pocket, and somebody picked it up and was like, this is a good idea.
It's that Christmas list that you give to your mom and dad. You have no chance. But if I get like one of the 3 or 2 of the 3, I'll be happy. But we got all 3.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you about CC specifically because I know in talking to the Yankees before he signed here, one of the things they wanted CC for was obviously what he did over there on the mound. But they also wanted him for what he did in the clubhouse. What does CC bring as a whole, both as a pitcher and as a teammate?
Well, as a pitcher, he's a workhorse. It was someone that you could count on. And it did so much for your bullpen, too, because he went so deep. You knew you wouldn't have to use your left-handers that day, so they got a day off. Your bullpen got most of the day off. And that year he pitched 230 innings. And then we go to a 3-man rotation in the playoffs, and he was up for that. But just as important, he was a uniter in the clubhouse. He brought everyone together. He included everyone in everything he did. He got boxes at basketball games when we were on the road. He took the guys out for the 4th of July on boats. He just was something special in the clubhouse. And I would have to say that he's one of the best teammates that I've ever, had a chance to manage or either play with. Tim Raines was that kind of guy, too. But CC was special.
I think that's so undervalued for certain players. I think there's a school of thought that look at the back of the baseball card, give me 3 hours of your time, play hard, doesn't matter if you get along, if there's chemistry. I completely disagree with that, and I think you've underscored that point with guys like CC who can bring people together.
Yeah, you think about, we won 103 games, and we went through hard times. I mean, Cash had to come to Atlanta because we weren't playing well, if you remember that. And I made myself get thrown out of the game to make sure that team kind of, we got going. And there is no season that doesn't have hard times. And the people in the room, like a CC, end up bringing everyone close together. You stick together, you fight together, and you get through it. And once you get through it, you're better off as you go further and further into the season.
How much easier was your job in a very tense postseason when you can pick up that phone and say, yeah, I think we need Mariano now?
Oh, I've always compared Mariano to a blanket or a favorite stuffed animal, right? So it's time to go to bed. The day is over, and you want your blanket so you can go to sleep. Well, that was Mo. And it wasn't just for 3 outs. A lot of times it was 6 outs. I think I even got 7 outs in the Angels series from him. So he was my blanket, and I didn't worry, and I could relax.
You know what's funny about that? Because he's warm and fuzzy to you. I always thought about him like this, that he's that way off the field. But when he got on that mound, he was like a silent assassin. Like, you looked at that demeanor change, and you're like, yeah, nothing's happening off this guy today.
Yeah, he was so calm in the face of a lot of storms, and that was Mo. And even if there was a time that he didn't get the 3 outs, you never worried about him the next day. I mean, this guy was humble, and he was kind, and to me, he had a lot of characteristics of Yogi Berra. Your day was better when you were around Yogi. Your day was better when you were around Mo, and you felt like you were always welcome in.
Joe, you're a former catcher. You're a former manager. You're a guy who studies the game so closely. Off air, we were talking about that lineup and just how formidable that lineup was. In your words, what did that Yankee lineup do to opposing teams?
It was relentless. Robbie Cano hit 7. Swish hit 8. Swish was a guy that was like a 30 and 95, hitting 8th, and then you split it between Gardy and Milky Cabrera. And Milky seemed to get those, those 17 or 18 walk-off wins. Milky seemed to be the one that was always in the middle of that for whatever reason. And Milky was excitable and fun to be around, and he was a little kid, and Alex took him under his wing, and I'd always hear those guys laughing, but it was just a team that had a special year.
With that lineup, and this might be akin to the teams you played for winning championships in the 90s, you hit the field that day and you're like, we're winning.
Yes.
Like, there's no doubt. There's a confidence that permeated through every game that you played.
Yeah, and there were other teams that had really good offenses, but I thought ours was so well balanced with the switch hitters, the left-handers, the right-handers that were willing to go the other way in Yankee Stadium. And we just had power coming from so many different positions. I mean, I could go through each guy, and they meant so much to our team. So it was a great lineup to have.
Joe, you did something as a manager that hadn't been done in the postseason in more than a decade. 3-man rotation. You decided that you were going to go with only 3 pitchers in CC, Burnett, and Andy Pettitte. What prompted that move?
Well, with some of the injuries that we had, some of the innings limits that we had, I just felt like we didn't have a great option for the 4th. And, you know, it was fortunate. We swept Minnesota, so they got some extra rest, you know, and we did a really good job of preparing them for that. We rested them a little bit in the month of September. They did not pitch quite as much. And I tell you what, they wanted to do it, and that's the key. A player has to buy into it, and because they bought into it, they were really successful at it. And again, CC had 230 regular season innings. That doesn't happen anymore. But he was a workhorse, and he was used to it.
Final question before we let you go. Is a manager's job, the hardest part of his job, managing the bullpen, or is that just dependent on what his roster is like and what the bullpen looks like?
Well, I think it's dependent on your roster and what your bullpen looks like. I mean, I had some great bullpens when I was here. I mean, there was a point where I had Chapman, Betances, and Miller. That was an easy bullpen to manage, right? But there are other times that you got to mix and match a little bit more, and those are fun bullpens. And sometimes guys emerge that you don't think you're going to get much out of in the playoffs. And that was Damaso Marte, and all of a sudden we had a really good left-hander that was dominant in the World Series, and you didn't expect it.
Neutralized Ryan Howard.
And Chase Utley.
Yeah.
All of that adding up to a lot of magic. Joe, great to have you with us. We'll see you throughout the day.
Thanks, guys.
Here on Yes. We're going to take our first break as our Old Timers Day coverage continues. Coming up next, stick around. We're going to be joined by Nick Swisher. He's like a caged animal over to the side. We're ready to unleash him on you on Yes. You're a caged animal.
Look, a perfect sandwich symphony. Nothing could be better. Okay, it just got better.
Buy one of these favorites like a Bacon McDouble and get the second one for just $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Whoa, is this your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. Yesterday, I was at the Nissan End of Summer Sales event taking a test drive, and Laura says,
"We've got somewhere to be."
And off we went. We're having a blast. And she tells me it's recommended by Consumer Reports.
These Rogues are going fast.
I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Get a low $269 per month lease on Rogue, or get up to $2,500 total savings on remaining select 2024 Rogue Platinum trims.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, but mostly times were just okay. And you know who said that? Susan B. Anthony.
Charles Dickens.
Susie.
We're not teachers. We're connectivity experts. If millions of communities rely on us for fiber, internet, and mobile, you can too. Optimum, where local is big time.
Look, a perfect sandwich symphony. Nothing could be better. Okay, it just got better.
Buy one of these favorites like a Bacon McDouble and get the second one for just $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
September 8th, 2009. The game was tied at 2 until Nick Swisher stepped up and hit that home run. I just want to, it's great to have you here. You still got some of that whipped cream pie left.
Oh, yeah, you know, yeah, from 09.
Just a little bit hanging on
It's just
here.
crusted in there, you know?
That's got to be, that must replay like a movie in your mind when you see that home run.
I tell you what, man, this whole weekend, starting yesterday, has just been so nostalgic for all of us. And just taking it back, it doesn't feel like it was 15 years ago, but the fact that we're here, Yankee Stadium, baby, like I always say, man, there's no place like home. It could not be more excited to be back here in the Bronx.
Nick, a couple times we've mentioned regular season and postseason. That team had 17 walk-offs. Obviously, we just saw the pies in the face became routine. How would you describe the camaraderie and the chemistry that led to that team being so joyous and so successful?
Well, I think you got to remember, man, 2008 here with the New York Yankees was a rough year. Didn't make the playoffs. 2009 shows around. All of a sudden, you bring in some personalities like they've never had before. CC Sabathia, A.J. Burnett, Mark Teixeira, myself. A lot of different players came in. It took us a minute to really start to gel a little bit. But like I said, I've always given a lot of credit to the core four. Those guys let us be ourselves. And I think that was the best thing that you could ask for coming into a brand new stadium and a brand new team is for players like him with that sort of pedigree to let you go out and be yourself. I think the one thing we all had on our minds, we all wanted to win the game. And that lined up exactly with the captain's points back in the day.
So how long, it took a while to get that chemistry maybe, but how long till you realized you had the confidence and you could go out on the field every game and just be like, we're winning tonight?
Yeah, I think it really kind of started right around June. I think, you know, people talk about Brian Cashman when he made that trip to Atlanta. And I think that really, really turned things around for us. I think it was just more of a reiteration of exactly who we were and the type of players that we had in that locker room, man. So I remember, it was a little bit of a chewing. So we were ready to get out there and play. But I think that series against the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta was the turning point for that 09 season.
I want to take you back to your beginning because you were acquired before the Yankees added CeCe, added Burnett, added Teixeira. So you're excited to get traded to the Yankees. What is your reaction like as they just keep adding more pieces around you?
Like, man, I immediately went from a first baseman to an outfielder. And I went from an outfielder to a bench player. And so there's just a lot of emotions that kind of happen within that spring training. But I think just in general, I think the one thing that you always got to remember is you got to be ready.
Yeah.
And you never know when that opportunity is going to happen. And for me, I got to start game 3. And that was kind of like the rest of my journey for the New York Yankees, man. Really wanted to go out there and do my best. And the fact that I was able to play in front of an amazing fan base like we have here. My bleacher creatures are out there today. Can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be an epic day.
As you reflect on this 15 years later, I mean, are there little snapshots that stand out to you? We talked about the 17 walk-offs. We talked about yours.
Sure.
What stands out to you?
I mean, it's hard not to think Game 6, right here in the Bronx. Ground ball to Robbie Cano, over to Mark Teixeira, and then it was just pandemonium from there. So I think for myself, just to be able to be part of that amazing run we had in 09 and to be part of the last World Series that the New York Yankees were able to win, man, what a blessing, bro. There's no place other than the Bronx. There's no better organization than the New York Yankees, and I still am pinching myself the fact that I was able to be part of all of it.
And by the way, Jack, you know he's got the pinky ring working today to show. That's quite a pinky ring.
Well, by the way, man, I had to put some tape on it. It doesn't fit over my fat fingers anymore, dude. So I had to go little pinky action on them today.
How often does that come out? How often do you wear it?
Not very often, right? I had to make sure it was still in the safe where I put it a couple months ago. But I still look at this ring, man. It just brings back such fond memories. And that dinner that we were able to have last night with a lot of the 09 guys, a couple of guys that aren't here today, but a lot of the guys are, man. It just brought back some amazing times, just talking about some amazing stories. And it's really, really cool to see how you may leave and not see people for a long time, but teammates, man, they always pick up right where they left off. So just being a blessing, just being part of all this, the festivities today, we can't be more excited about it. Everybody's got their whole entire families up in the suites today. So the fact that my daughters were able to see me run out on the field one more time, man, it's just a blessing, man. I'm really excited.
The lineup.
Yeah.
We just had Joe Girardi sitting there with you, and he started going through the lineup, and he says, Cano hit 7th, and we know who Robbie Cano became. He said Swish was a 30 and a 95 guy. He was hitting 8th. What did you think about that lineup and the gauntlet that you were for opposing pitchers?
Yeah, I mean, if you look back on it, man, OPS is all over 800 that year. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic to be part of that roster. And I think one of the things is, you know, I kind of was listening to the Atlanta Braves and Greg, Greg Maddux and John Smoltz, they were talking, and they always tried to one-up each other. And I think that's exactly what we did in that lineup. We just wanted to protect the guy that we were hitting behind, just pass the torch. Not one guy was trying to do it all by themselves. It was a team effort, and everybody knew that going into each game. So for all of us, man, we just want to show up to the ballpark, do your job, win the game, and we'll come back tomorrow and do the same thing.
Well, Nick, it has been great to have you here, as always.
Should we get the pie? Hold on.
Oh,
Nick,
yeah.
we got it.
We thought you needed a little more gel in the hair.
No. This stuff ain't going nowhere today, gentlemen.
And by the way, you wearing a cap out on the field or
no?
no?
I have it right here, but I'm not covering this.
Can't mess with that.
A lot of guys are losing it. I still got mine, so I'm going to hold on to it for today.
All right. We're going to keep an eye out for your ovation today that you get. You're going to salute the bleacher creatures.
Ain't no doubt about it, man. Ain't no doubt about it, man. It's my favorite place to be in the world, other than my home, and I can't wait to be out here again. Really excited.
All right, Nick. Great stuff. By the way, Meredith Marakovitz having a chance to talk to a variety of players, and one guy that we talked about that was on that team, CC Sabathia, such a key part. Here's Meredith with CC.
CC, I know you were just hanging out with some of the guys in Robbie's office. Just what's it like to see a lot of guys together again?
Oh, it's always fun to be able to get back with the guys. I mean, a lot of us haven't seen each other in a long time, but a lot of us do get together. So I've seen Jeet, I've seen Sato, but I haven't seen AJ or, Phil Koch or these different guys. So it was fun last night to get together at the dinner, and I'm looking forward to today.
What were the stories like? I imagine they were flowing throughout the course of the evening.
Yeah, it was some good stories going. I mean, 2009 was a special year. I mean, I think the biggest one was just A-Rod's birthday party. I think everybody's still buzzing from that 15 years later. And, I think it really brought us together and the reason why we won the World Series.
Just when you guys won the World Series, what did that mean to you?
For me, I mean, it was just the ultimate goal. I mean, coming here in, December of 2008, I mean, I think that's the goal was to win and, opening up this new building. It couldn't have worked out any perfectly.
It was no secret. It was you. It was AJ. It was Pettit in that rotation in the postseason. Just what you guys were able to do. Looking back on that, just are you still in amazement? Yeah, no. I mean, I think me, AJ, and Andy had a conversation, right before the playoffs, and said, we're going to go on 3 days rest, and whatever we need to do to be out there and help this team win, we're going to do that. And Andy closed out every game, from Minnesota to Anaheim to Philly. So being able to have that anchor, at the back of the rotation was awesome. And talk about the back of the bullpen. Having Mariano Rivera doesn't hurt the cause. Am I right? I mean, he's the ultimate back of the bullpen, So, anytime I was thrown out there, I was just always trying to get the ball to Mo. Old timer. Does that sound right to you? What are we talking about? It definitely doesn't, but it's got a good ring to it. Hey, the team that's playing right now has a pretty good player in Aaron Judge. He's hitting a home run what seems like every day, 4 in a row. What's it been like for you to watch him? Oh, it's incredible. I mean, like you just said, it feels like he's going deep every day. I mean, when you're watching somebody that hit 50 home runs in a season, it's not September yet, it feels like he's going deep every day, and it's incredible just to see him hit for a high average and still hit for the power. How would you pitch to him? I mean, right now you got to walk him. CC, thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the day. Thank you.
Always good to see CC. That's a universal answer, by the way. You just wave the 4 fingers. It's nice to see people trying to challenge Judge and the end result that's happening lately. As for CC now, based on a couple conversations we've had here with Joe and with Nick, I'm thinking of 3-man rotation, and I'm thinking of 230 innings that season. It just seems unheard of.
CC Sabathia wanted the baseball. That's what he was known for throughout his career, and we know that the Yankees did go to a 3-man rotation in that series, so you had better want the baseball. So it was he and Burnett and Pettit, and his numbers during that postseason, about 3-1 with an ERA of under 2. He also had an 11-game stretch during that season where he had an ERA of under 2. But as much as we can talk about the numbers, I want to echo what both Girardi and Swisher said about CC. This guy was a beloved teammate. He united players. He brought them together. And that's not just Jeter and Posada saying that. That's clubhouse attendance saying that. He treated everyone as if they were his favorite teammate.
Now, just a quick follow, because here's what I find fascinating about what Nick said. The core 4 is basically still there, but they're allowing CC to introduce himself and get into the fabric of a championship team.
The Yankees needed a makeover, and general manager Brian Cashman and the people that he trusted to make those decisions, they knew that they needed to add some fresh blood. And yes, the core 4 was important, but the 4 players they added in that offseason, Sabathia, Teixeira, Burnett, and Swisher, they were also vital to what the Yankees were trying to do, and they accomplished it. And that's the last time the Yankees have won a title, trying to climb that mountain again.
Well, you're going to want to stick around as our Old Timers Day coverage continues in the celebration of the 2009 World Series champions, because Meredith Marakovitz will have the chance to talk to the captain, Derek Jeter, coming up right after this. Stick around.
At Toyota's Toyota's national sales event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, get Tundra with 1.99% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 TFS subvention APR cash, or lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $499 a month.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, but mostly times were just okay. And you know who said that? Susan B. Anthony.
Charles Dickens.
Susie.
We're not teachers. We're connectivity experts. If millions of communities rely on us for fiber, internet, and mobile, you can too. Optimum, where local is big time.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
And parents of sick children have tons of decisions to make. Like movie night, game night, or should we finish that book tonight? We don't perform surgeries, just talent shows. We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. Well, we have a few beeping machines. We think the tooth fairy should travel everywhere. And while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. We don't provide treatment, but we do provide dogs. And we throw some really good parties. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This is New York. When the action heats up, we know how to get loud. Fact is, we love our Yankees, and we never miss a single game on Yes.
He's done it again.
The captain, Aaron Judge, is must-watch TV.
The show continues.
This season, don't miss Yankees baseball on Yes and the Yes app.
And the 2-0. There it is. For 72 years, Lou Gehrig has been the Yankees' all-time hits leader. Now, it's Derek Jeter.
He is El Capitan, Derek Jeter, a Hall of Famer, a 14-time All-Star, 5-time World Champion, 5 Gold Gloves, and he ended up with 3,465 hits. And just moments ago, Meredith Marakovitz had the chance to chat with him.
Derek, back at the stadium again. Does it feel nostalgic when you put the pinstripes on?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you see a lot of these guys you haven't seen in years. I mean, we had a dinner last night celebrating 09, obviously today as well, and 15 years. I mean, it's been 15 years since I've seen a couple guys, so it's always fun to come back.
Anyone in particular you were super excited to see?
You, Meredith. It's always good to see you. I always look forward to seeing you.
I love that. You can lie to me any day, Derek. No, like on the team in 2009. Was there somebody in particular you were looking forward to catching up with?
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say one person in particular. It's always fun when you get the guys together, because then old stories start to come back. So I don't know if it's one in particular, but I'd say the group gathering is what's fun. The guys were telling stories last night that I had completely forgotten about, and it's funny because you're going through it, and there's so many experiences with new players that are coming in for their first years. Look, it was CeCe's first year, AJ, Tex, everyone here for the first time. So you ultimately always just remember the championship and being on the field at the end of the year, but you go through so many different ups and downs. Like, you know, Yankee fans know you go through ups and downs through the course of the year, and it's just getting to know guys on a daily basis, 6 months plus spring training. You're with them every day. So it's just fun. I think the stories that stand out is just getting to know guys and their families, and now you see them and their kids are already graduating college. They're talking about grandkids. So, Meredith, I think I said it last year. I think I'm the youngest one here.
Well, I don't know. CeCe's here this time around, but we'll let you have it. You know, we'll let you have it. You know, you won 4 at the other stadium.
Yeah.
Came over here, started the first year with winning 1 here. Did it feel any different winning in the new stadium?
A little bit, I think, because, you know, when you're moving over here, you want to have a great start, you know, and we had, for the first time in a long time, hadn't gone to the playoffs the year before, so you want to sort of redeem yourself and get back into the postseason. But I thought it was very, very important. I know it was big for the organization, first year in the stadium to win a championship, so yes, it was important.
Can you describe the feeling when you've won it and you're celebrating on the field? You see the final out, Robinson Cano gets the grounder, you guys win that World Series.
You know what thing I used to always love, especially at the old stadium, is they used to have the out-of-town scoreboard, and you'd look back there in the World Series, and it was completely black because there's no other teams that are playing. But to describe the feeling, I don't really know how you describe it, because it's the ultimate goal, and it's hard. Winning's hard. You know, I've said it before, we've made it look easy from time to time, but it's very, very hard. It's challenging, different group every year, but to win it is just the ultimate.
From one captain to another, what have you thought of what Aaron Judge is doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, I think people fail to remember he had a rough first month, and there were a lot of questions, and now all of a sudden he's turned into, you know, he's having seasons like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Barry Bonds, and I don't really know why they keep pitching to him, but, you know, it's pretty fun to watch.
Aaron Boone doesn't want you to say that out loud. Derek.
So keep pitching, yeah, keep pitching to him, yeah.
Derek, thank you for the time as always.
Of course.
Terrific interview there. Okay, a couple things jump out at me. First, in a stadium of 50 to 55,000 screaming fans who have the image of the pile of people in the middle of the field, for at least a moment, Derek Jeter's looking at the out-of-town scoreboard and thinking, guess what? It's just us right now.
It's focus. That's one of the things that set Jeter apart. It's that mental strength, it's the focus, and it's him reminding himself and everyone else, hey, we're the only show in town. We're one of the last two teams standing, and when you're one of the last two teams standing, you have to figure out a way to get that across the finish line, get another ring. 2009 was obviously Derek Jeter's last World Series, but in typical fashion, he performed at a high level.
So I'm going to go there just a little. There are certain people in baseball, they tend to crunch numbers, and they say there's no such thing as clutch. And to that, I would respond Exhibit A, Derek Jeter.
Well, if you look at Jeter's career regular season numbers and you look at his career postseason numbers, there's no difference. They're almost identical. And let's just center in on 2009, Bob. He hit .334 and finished third in the AL MVP. He had .344 in the postseason, so he was the same player. Not everybody can do that. Some of the players who are here today, and I could name some of them, they had long stretches in the postseason where they were not the same player. This game is hard. It gets harder in October, not for Jeter.
Well, the hits just keep on coming of our coverage of Old Timers Day and the 2009 World Series Championship team. But in the case of the next guest with Meredith Jack, the hits do not keep coming because it's Mariano Rivera. Let's hear from Mo with Meredith.
Mariano, how much do you enjoy being back at the stadium?
Oh, every chance that you have to come to the stadium, it's a blessing for me. I mean, you never forget, you know, especially when we opened up the stadium in 2009. It was amazing, you know, and winning the championship that year was spectacular. So, I mean, every time that you have opportunity to come here, it's something that you will always appreciate.
I was talking to Andy Pettit the other day, and he said that one felt different because it took a while to get another one, and also you guys were the veterans on the team, not the younger guys on the team. Did that one feel different to you?
You believe that? Yeah, it was, because we was the veteran there. You know, I was the oldest on the team, so it definitely felt different. It was a new house, you know, new beginning, and again, it was amazing. I mean, the whole thing was amazing. I mean, I hope that will continue. Yes, Andy said the same thing that I always say. It was, sometimes you take it for granted. You know, we were so many times back to back at Yankees at the World Series, and then all of a sudden, you don't win one in a few years. It's like, okay, what happened? You know, so it's that hard to get back to that.
Hey, you look at that postseason, 16 innings pitched out of you, 1 earned run on the field, obviously, for the final out, a grounder to Robinson Cano. Just what does that feel like to close out a World Series?
Oh, my God. I mean, Meredith, if you haven't been there, I can't describe it. You had to have emotion. You had to have a feeling. Imagine you thinking about whatever you want to interview whoever is the best thing that you wanted to interview, the best person. That's the thing that I can relate it with you and us and myself when you throw in that last pitch and win the World Series. It's something special, something amazing, and you always wanted to be there in that situation.
Now, you guys accomplished that feat a lot. The team in there is trying to do it this year, and they have a big bat in that lineup in Aaron Judge. Have you been watching what he has been doing?
It's amazing, you know. Well, I mean, besides throwing the remote to the TV sometimes, yes, I've been watching, and it's amazing. I mean, I won't doubt it. I remember when he came as just first pick or whatever he was, come to the old Yankee Stadium. As always, they bring the younger guys, and you know, we talk during spring training, and that wasn't surprise me. You know, I mean, and I hope that he continue. You know, so he can break all kind of records. That's good, and being a Yankee, even better.
You think he could hit your cutter?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Mariano, enjoy the rest of the day. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to you.
Mariano Rivera, he's just like the rest of us. We all throw the remote at the TV sometime or somewhere else. Anyway, a couple things there. And first of all, and I think it's worth repeating all the time, the way he, I guess, sort of inadvertently discovered the cutter, right?
He was throwing on the side with fellow Panamanian Ramiro Mendoza. He was using that same four-seam grip, and the ball started to cut. And it was cutting so much that initially the Yankees, including pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre, they were trying to eliminate the cut, because if you can't control that cut, suddenly you've lost command of your fastball. Then they backed up and said, wait a second, they can use this to their advantage. And yes, Mariano rode that pitch to the Hall of Fame, arguably the most dominant pitch in baseball history. And as you said, Bob, it was discovered inadvertently while he was playing catch with a teammate.
Something else he said also, it's just the hallmark of those great teams or great championship players. The fact that he mentioned the run of the 90s and winning all those championships. And you could say, oh, we got 4 championships, we're good. But you could tell that he and his teammates were just yearning to get back. And it took him a while till 2009.
Yeah, that team had a championship pedigree. And once you get a taste of it, Bob, you absolutely want to get back there. And think about that success that team had. 4 titles in 5 seasons, almost 5 in 6. They lost in 2001. Mariano was on the mound when they lost. It was the bloop single from Luis Gonzalez. So I love how these athletes, all these years later, Bob, you can still hear in their voice the championships and how much they appreciated that, but also maybe the things that got away that they wish they had another opportunity to achieve again.
As we've touched on, another big part of that championship team was a guy who was in his first year in 2009 with the Yankees, signed as a free agent in the offseason, and that would be A.J. Burnett. And Meredith had a chance to talk to him, and we will hear about that.
AJ, I spoke to you down in Baltimore, and you told me how much you were looking forward to this day. What was it like to walk in this ballpark again?
Oh, it was cool. I haven't been here since '09, and you know, my first steps in here was when it was being built. You know, with my kids and with CC and his family. So, brought about a lot of memories. You know, we christened the place pretty good. You know, the first year, and just to see the guys and to be around it all. Like I said, it just brings back a lot of good memories.
You were one of the big free agent signings that offseason to try to get them to that World Series. For you to be able to come through in that first year, just what did it mean to you to be able to do that?
I mean, wish I could have done it more, I'm not going to lie. But it was fun, and it was great because, you know, that's why they got me. You know, they got us to come aboard, want to win, we wanted to win, and to be able to, you know, actually pitch the game of my life, you know, when it counted was made me feel like I belong. Well, you know, I'm supposed to be here.
How do you feel about this guy right here?
Yeah.
Hi, Johnny.
Love him.
Hey, you mentioned the game of your life. Just what do you remember about that game, too?
We laughed about it last time. I'm going to bring it back up. I could have went 8. But he brought Mo in for... I'm kidding. We had Mariano. But I just remember being spot on from the get-go. I remember the concert in right field. I mean, I was loose as can be out there, and just from pitch 1, everything was working from pitch 1, and I mean, it was a blur while I was out there, but afterwards, it was one of the best feelings.
Can you describe what it was like to ride down the Canyon of Heroes with all your teammates, with the crowd that was there to greet you?
No. No, I've never seen so many humans in my life.
AJ.
It was absolutely amazing.
AJ, I'll let you enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
Thanks, Meredith. Isn't that amazing? At the time, Jack, it was a blur to A.J. Burnett, but now it's just coming back crystal clear what he was able to accomplish in Game 2.
A.J. Burnett should have that on his phone or his iPad, go to highlights of that game whenever he wants to, Bob, because if you go back to that series, the Yankees lose Game 1. Cliff Lee, best CC Sabathia. You're down 0-1 in a best-of-7 series. You can't fall behind 2-0. You need to figure out a way to win that game. Guess who was on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies that night? Pedro Martinez. Now, he wasn't the Pedro from his Boston Red Sox seasons. He was still a very crafty, very smart pitcher. Burnett goes 7, strikes out 10, gets the Yankees back to even in that series. They eventually win in 6, and he will give a lot of credit to Jose Molina. Molina caught all 5 of his starts that postseason. That was another tricky decision that Joe Girardi had to make. Posada, the starter, went to the side because Burnett worked better with Molina.
Well, our memories of the 2009 World Series championship team will continue here on Yes and the Yes app. Our Old Timers Day celebration is coming up as well. A roundtable Q&A. John Flaherty in the house, by the way. We'll see you back here after this.
Listen, I spotted it from the start. Breaking didn't even have a name yet. All that potential, just waiting to burst free. I think about every battle. Kids from the South Bronx who didn't just knock on the door, they kicked it down. And today, what I saw in us is the same thing I see in you. It's your time. It's all about spotting it early. And if you do, no victory is out of reach.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
What would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
It'll be a 3-1. Swung on and hit in the air to right center and deep. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Alex Rodriguez has hit a game-tying 2-run home run in the 9th inning. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod.
From the depths of despair, almost losing that game, Jack, to winning it, A-Rod had a huge impact in the playoffs.
Yeah, hitting right there in the middle of the order, Bob. He hit over 350. He had 6 home runs in the postseason. His best performance was in the league championship series, and we've heard Girardi and Swisher talk about that lineup. Rodriguez did a ton of damage, and how about this, buttoning up his regular season? He needed 2 homers and 7 runs batted in the final regular season game to go 30 and 100 for the 12th straight season. He did it. He hit a 3-run homer and a grand slam.
And this is great because it's a day of celebration. It's kind of a hybrid, right? It's Old Timers Day, the 76th edition, but a celebration of the 2009 World Series champions. And that's about to happen as we get it upstairs to public address announcer Paul Olin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Yankee Stadium and the New York Yankees 76th Old Timers Day. This year, as part of Old Timers Day, we are celebrating the 15th anniversary of the 2009 World Championship team. At this time, please direct your attention to the field as we start the festivities.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Old Timers Day. Please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate and join the Yankees in welcoming our MC, Michael Kay.
Well, it's always great to hear that legendary voice at Yankee Stadium. And welcome to the 76th annual Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. Can you believe that this is the 76th year that the Yankees are honoring their former players? This is always one of my favorite days of the baseball season, getting to see all these former Yankee greats back together, wearing the pinstripes and the interlocking NY. No professional sports team has a history like the New York Yankees. They've been to the World Series an amazing 40 times, winning the World Classic 27 times. More championships than any other team in the history of professional sports. Now this year, we are happy to have with us members of the 2009 World Championship team as we celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Yankees' 27th championship. 2009 was the start of a new chapter in Yankees history. Even though 2008 was memorable with the All-Star game at Yankee Stadium and the closing of the old stadium, it didn't end the way the Yankees wanted, missing the postseason after 13 straight appearances. But 2009 brought a new stadium, new faces, new memories, and a new post-game celebration whenever the Yankees had a walk-off win, which they had an amazing 17 of that season. So let's all direct our attention to the video board in center field as we take a look back at the 2009 championship season.
Although things are going to change next year, we're going to move across the street. We're relying on you to take the memories from this stadium, add them to the new memories that come at the new Yankee Stadium, and continue to pass them on from generation to generation.
The Yankee season one with great expectations for sure, a lot of additions. This is a team that expects to win a championship. Let's do it for the first time here at the new Yankee Stadium. Swung on and missed. The first strikeout at the new Yankee Stadium. Line drive, there's the first base hit. A single to center field by Johnny Damon. Driven out to deep center field, going back Sizemore. Still back, looking up. See ya! The first home run here at Yankee Stadium off the bat of Jorge Posada. See ya! Alex Rodriguez, his first swing back, a 3-run home run. Look to left field, that could be trouble coming on a span, and it gets by it. Off to the races is Gardner. Here's the play at the plate, and inside the park home run.
I don't think we ever feel like we're going to lose. No matter what the score is, we still got to get 3 outs in the ninth. And this is the hardest place to do it.
It's drilled to right field deep. There it goes. Ball game over. See ya. That one's looped into left field. That is going to be a base hit. It is a walk-off 2-run single. That one's drilled deep to left field. That ball is gone. 3 straight walk-off wins for the Yankees. The Yankees are walking off again. And another mob at home plate. It's a walk-off RBI single.
15th walk-off home run by Alex Rodriguez.
They've done it again. See ya. A walk-off home run for Nick Swisher. Another pie is on order.
That came back to the plate, and that should do it. There is Cano to Teixeira, the 500th save for Mariano Rivera, the second in history to reach that plateau.
The biggest story of this past week has been Derek Jeter's pursuit of the Yankees' all-time hit record, and it could culminate in this at-bat right now. There it is. For 72 years, Lou Gehrig has been the Yankees' all-time hits leader. Now, it's Derek Jeter.
Drilled to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's tied it up. It's a Johnny Rock hit in the air to deep right. It is gone. You're on the mark, Teixeira. And Teixeira and Damon go back to back in a belly to belly.
Almost unbeatable. He's lost only one start since the All-Star game.
Swung on and line toward right center. Other run is dive. It's over his head. Lucky will try for three. It's a triple, and he's hit for the cycle. How do you like that?
Did he get it? There it goes! See ya! A grand slam! And he has 101 batted in. 7 RBIs in the 6th inning.
Swung on and grounded back to Rivera. Fields flips to first. Eastern Division in 2009 over. Yankees win. The Yankees win!
This place is up for grabs. They are ready to see the Yankees begin a postseason roll tonight. Huge game, quite obviously, for CC Sabathia, starting in the playoffs for the first time as a Yankee.
Thunderous applause here at Yankee Stadium, where his big crowd standing and applauding the efforts of CC Sabathia.
And a high fly ball belted down the left field line. It is gone! Bouncing ball hit out towards second. That should do it. Yankees win it. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-1 is your score. Alex Rodriguez represents the tying run. Fly ball center field. Well hit. At the track. He's done it again.
Alex Rodriguez has hit a game-time 2-run home run in the 9th inning. Swung on and line to left field. Down the line it is gone. Gone. It's a walk-off by Mark Teixeira. Oh, you're on the mark, Teixeira.
Eddie Pettit tied with Tom Glavine for second in postseason wins all time. Pettit has been perfect so far. Fly ball, well hit right field. Gone! Alex Rodriguez has tied the game, and that ball is going to go the opposite way. Jorge Posada hit out to Jeter, and the Yankees are moving on to the American League Championship Series.
We are just about set for Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. CC Sabathia on a cold, blustery, drizzly night at Yankee Stadium. Inside corner, strike 3 ball.
How about this start for the Yankee ace? 7 strikeouts through 7, electrifying this crowd at Yankee Stadium. 3-2 Angels, bottom of the 11th. Swung on and drilled to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's done it again. Alex Rodriguez. To the right side. His Turris to second. Gets away. Yankees up 2-0. This is what you live for. Game 6 of the ALCS.
Andy Pettit has had the strikeout pitch working tonight. 3-2, and it's swung on and missed. And the New York Yankees are headed to the World Series.
Tonight, Game 2 of the 2009 World Series.
a game the Yankees really have to win.
The Yankees will counter with A.J. Burnett.
Strike three. What a pitch. What a pitch. That may be the best start he's pitched for the Yankees this year. Swung on and hit in the air to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Hideki Matsui breaks the 1-1 tie.
And the Yankees have tied the World Series. Now, because we're in the National League ballpark, the pitcher's up next.
And Andy Pettit has just delivered a hit to tie it.
Line toward the alley in right center. It is a base hit. It's a two-run double for Johnny Damon. And the Yankees take a 5-3 lead.
Broken back pop-up, and the Yankees win game 3.
2 out, 4-4 game of the night. Damon goes. Pitch taken. The throw to second is way late. And Damon now runs towards third, and there's no one there because of the overshift.
Ripped into left field. Alex Rodriguez has delivered for New York.
The Yankees win this game tonight in Philadelphia.
Andy Pettit for the Yankees is finishing on 3 days rest.
But he has not worked on 3 days rest in 3 years.
But we are all set to go. Strike three on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch by Andy.
A big game pitcher, that's for sure.
Swung on and hit in the air right. The ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Swing and line drive in the center field base hit. A two-run single for Matsui.
4-1 New York.
It is high. It is far. It is off the right center field wall. A-Rod scores.
And Matsui's on. And 6 RBIs.
And here comes Mariano Rivera. Girardi brings in the hammer here in the top of the 8th. To the second baseman, Cano. The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time.
Yankees win. Yankees
Those are pretty good memories, right? Well, to start the program, we have some very special guests to introduce. Her husband played for the Yankees in the 1950s and helped lead them to 5 World Championships, hitting .333 in those World Series. Later, he became the Yankees manager, leading them to 2 more World Series titles. In all, he was part of 7 Yankees World Championship teams. Representing Billy Martin, let's hear it from Mrs. Jill Martin. He played 13 seasons for the Yankees and was a Gold Glove Award winner and a 5-time All-Star who appeared in 2 American League Championship Series and 1 World Series. In 1983, he hung up his cleats from the microphone and continued at Yankee Stadium broadcasting Yankee games for 25 years. Representing Bobby Mercer, his wife, Mrs. Kay Mercer. Her husband was an 8-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time world champion, as well as the 1976 American League MVP. In April of 1976, he was named the 6th captain in Yankee franchise history and was the captain of the 1978 championship team. Tragically taken from us on August 2nd, 1979, his locker remained empty until the close of the original Yankee Stadium. Representing Yankees captain Thurman Munson, Mrs. Diana Munson. Well, now we have some very special guests that are back for their first Old Timers Day as we help celebrate the 2009 championship team.
He came up big for the Yankees out of the bullpen during the 2009 postseason, retiring all 12 batters he faced, some in really big spots. Let's welcome back Damaso Marte. He came over in a trade in June, had an immediate impact, homering in his first game as a Yankee, and hitting 5 homers in his first 6 starts in pinstripes. A valuable veteran piece as an outfielder and an infielder. Say hello to Eric Hinsky. Also back for the first time, he was drafted by the Yankees in 2002, and he made his big league debut in September of 2008, giving up only 1 run in 12 appearances. This led him to being a mainstay out of the bullpen in 2009, leading the team with 72 appearances. In the postseason, he had 5 huge scoreless appearances. Here he is, Phil Cope. Our next guest was always a fan favorite during his time in pinstripes. He got called up to the team in May of 2009 and would make 25 starts behind the plate, with the Yankees going 17-8 in those games. And he threw out an amazing 62% of would-be base stealers. Welcome back, Francisco Cervelli. He came over at the 2009 trade deadline as a jack of all trades, playing 5 different positions in 45 games over the last 2 months of the season. But his biggest moment in pinstripes came in Game 2 of the ALCS, when he led off the 13th inning with a single and came around to score the winning run. Here he is, Jerry Hairston Jr. Well, as we honor the 2009 team today, we also have some alumni that have become staples at Old Timers Day. At 21 years old, this next guest was the youngest member of the 1977 World Championship team. He pitched in 10 games and earned his first career victory and first career save. Say hello to Gil Patterson. Well, this next guest spent 3 seasons as a Bronx Bomber from 1978 to 1980. Now, who could forget the 1978 World Series when he had 3 hits in both Games 5 and the deciding Game 6? He would bat .438 with 7 hits in the World Series and drove in 2 runs in the Game 6 clincher. Say hello to Brian Doyle. Our next guest was a dependable backup behind the plate for the 2003 American League champions. Everyone remembers the night that Derek Jeter dove into the stands, but it was his walk-off hit in the 13th inning that won the game. Now, he shares his baseball knowledge with Yankee fans on the Yes Network. Let's welcome back Flash, John Flaherty. A 2-time All-Star. In 1976, he led the American League in runs scored. He was also a key member of the 77 and 78 World Championship teams. In the 1978 ALCS, he hit .313, and his home run in Game 4 was the eventual winning run, sending the Yankees back to the World Series. Here he is, Roy White. Well, this tall lefty was a key member of the Yankees bullpen on the 96 and 98 World Championship teams. He appeared in 13 postseason games, and he never gave up a single run, including a very important scoreless inning in Game 4 of the 96 World Series, where he was the winning pitcher. Let's welcome back the big Australian, Graham Lloyd. Let's go from the tall lefty reliever to the tall righty one. In 2000, he led the Yankees with a 2.45 ERA while winning 8 games out of the bullpen for the world champions. He was also a key member of the 96, 98, and 99 World Championship teams, as he had a 2.25 ERA in World Series play. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Nelson. He came over at the trade deadline in 2003 and hit one of the most memorable home runs in Yankees history, as his 11th inning walk-off home run in Game 7 of the ALCS sent the Yankees to the World Series. Now, he's in his 7th season as Yankees manager. Please welcome the manager of your first place New York Yankees, Aaron Boone. This next guest was a fan favorite during his 11 years playing for the Yankees. He was a part of the 77 and 78 World Championship teams, leading the 78 team with a .314 average. After retiring midway through the 1984 season, he would go on to become the Yankees hitting coach, then manager, then general manager, then manager again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Sweet Lou Piniella. He was one of the most popular pitchers on the World Championship teams at the end of the last century. He defected from Cuba and signed with the Yankees just before the beginning of the 1998 season. He brought his unique leg kick to the majors on June 3rd and would win 12 games that year for the 98 World Champions and 2 more in the postseason, with none bigger than his masterpiece in Game 4 of the ALCS that evened the series. The following year, he led the 1999 World Championship team with 17 wins, one of the great postseason pitchers of his time. He won his first 8 postseason decisions and was the 1999 American League Championship Series MVP. A 3-time world champion with the Yankees. Let's hear it for El Duque, Orlando Hernandez. Our next guest was a 3-time All-Star for the Yankees, hit one of the most memorable home runs in Yankees history. On October 2nd, 1978, his 3-run home run over the Green Monster at Fenway Park etched his name into Yankees history forever, as it helped give the Yankees the Eastern Division title. He would then go on to hit .417 with 7 ribbies in the 1978 World Series, en route to being named World Series MVP. Let's have a hand for Bucky Dent. This Yankee was a key member of 4 World Championship teams, a 2-time All-Star in the Bronx. In '98, he led the American League with 20 wins. He was 6-1 in the postseason as a Yankee, and his gutsy performance in Game 3 of the '96 Fall Classic got the Yankees back in the series. This year marks the 25th anniversary of one of the greatest games ever pitched by a player wearing pinstripes, as on July 18th, 1999, he would forever etch his name in Yankees lore when he would pitch the third perfect game in Yankees history. Let's have a warm welcome for Cody David Code. The Yankees traded for this first baseman prior to the 1996 season, and he helped lead them to 4 world titles. Not only did he play flawless defense every night, he produced 2 of the biggest home runs in World Series history. First, in 1998, his grand slam in the 7th inning of Game 1 helped lead the Yankees to a sweep of the Padres. Then, nobody will ever forget the way he made the stadium rock with his dramatic home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning of Game 4 of the 2001 World Series. Let's hear it for Constantino Martinez. A key member of the 77 and 78 World Championship teams. He's one of the greatest second basemen in the history of the Yankees, with his steady play and solid offense for 13 seasons. This former Yankees captain appeared in 5 All-Star games while wearing pinstripes, and he's 4th on the Yankees' all-time stolen base list. After retiring, he was the third base coach for 4 Yankees World Championship teams. Always a fan favorite, Willie Randolph. This old-timer spent 9 seasons patrolling right field. A 4-time All-Star, he hit over 306 times and led the American League in hitting in 1994. One of the fiercest competitors Yankee fans have ever seen. He was a key member of 4 World Championship teams. In Game 5 of the 96 World Series, with an injured leg, he ran down a deep fly ball for the final out of a 1-0 Yankees victory that brought the Yankees back to New York with the chance to close it out. Now, he's one of our broadcasting partners on the Yes Network. Ladies and gentlemen, the Warrior, Paul O'Neill. Our next guest would play his entire 16-year career for the Yankees, and he's one of the great center fielders in Yankees history. He ranks in the top 10 in Yankees history in most offensive categories. He's a 5-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove Award winner, 1996 ALCS MVP, and the 1998 American League batting champion. His 2 walk-off home runs at Yankee Stadium during the 96 and 99 ALCS series play helped lead the Yankees to 4 World Championships. He has a .321 batting average in LCS series games, and he holds the record for most career postseason RBIs in and 3rd in career postseason home runs. Time to burn, baby, burn. Welcome back, Bernie Williams. Named manager of the Yankees prior to the 96 season, he led the Bronx Bombers to their first World Series title in 18 years. He managed the Yankees for 12 seasons and is second in franchise history with 1,170 wins as a manager. He's 5th on baseball's list of all-time winningest managers. He's one of only 2 managers to lead their teams to 3 consecutive championships. And in 98, he led them to a major league record 125 wins. During his 12 years in the Bronx, he led the Yankees to 6 American League pennants and 4 World Championships. In 2014, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Joe Torre. this next guest was neither a player nor a coach, but was synonymous with the Yankees for nearly 50 years. He joined the training staff in 1973, where he would spend the next 39 seasons. He tended to the injuries of almost everyone on the field today and was the trainer for 7 World Championship teams, including the 2009 champions. A big welcome for Gino G. Monahan. Well, he played 4 seasons with the Yankees, winning 3 World Championships and catching 2 no-hitters, including 1 perfect game. Who could forget him motoring around the bases was his 3rd inning triple in Game 6 of the '96 World Series, giving the Yankees a lead they would never relinquish on their way to winning the championship. He went from the Yankees on-field leader to becoming the leader in the dugout. And in 2009, he joined Ralph Houk and Billy Martin as the only people to both play for a Yankees World Championship team and manage a Yankees World Championship team when he led them to their 27th World Championship. Welcome back, Joe Girardi. This next guest is both first and last. He's back for his first All-Timers Day, and he was the last player to hit a home run in the old Yankee Stadium in 2008. In 2009, he was a dependable backup behind the plate, one of the best defensive catchers in the game. Welcome back, Jose Molina. Another first-time guest. He's one of the Yankees' 3 big offseason acquisitions prior to the 2009 season. He threw 207 innings that season, winning 13 games. He came up biggest when the Yankees needed him the most, pitching a 7-inning, 4-hit, 9-strikeout game in Game 2 of the World Series to even the series at 1 game apiece. And he brought a new post-game tradition to Yankee Stadium for the walk-off wins. Let's hear it for the king of the pie, A.J. Burnett. Well, he came over via a trade in November 2008, and his infectious smile and personality were an immediate hit with his teammates and Yankee fans. He had 29 home runs and 35 doubles in 2009. And in the World Series that year, his home run in Game 3 ended up being the difference in the game as the Yankees took the lead in the series. He spent 4 seasons in pinstripes, hitting more than 20 home runs in each of those seasons. And he was named to the 2010 All-Star team. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Swisher. This left fielder added a great combination of speed and power to the top of the lineup. He led the 2009 championship team in runs and tied his career high with 24 home runs while also hitting 36 doubles. He had 364 in the 2009 World Series, and in the 9th inning of Game 4, he would steal second and third base on the same play, coming around to score the tie-breaking run that gave the Yankees a 3-1 series lead. Always a fan favorite. Welcome back, Johnny Damon. This next member of the 2009 team is back for his first All-Timers Day. The Yankees traded for him following his 2003 MVP season, and he would spend the final 12 years of his career in the Bronx. While wearing pinstripes, he appeared in 7 All-Star games, won 2 American League MVP awards. In 2009, he hit 30 home runs and drove in 100 runs for the 12th consecutive season. He really turned it up in the postseason, having the best one of his career, hitting .365, 6 homers, 5 doubles, 14 runs, and 18 runs batted in. His 2 home run in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 2 of the ALDS tied the game before the Yankees prevailed in the 11th. He has the 4th most ribbies in baseball history and is 5th on baseball's all-time home run list. Ladies and gentlemen, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. Our final first-time guest was the Yankees' biggest free agent signing of the 2009 offseason. In 2009, he tied the Major League lead with 19 wins and then won his first 3 postseason starts en route to being 2009 ALCS Most Valuable Player. He spent 11 seasons in pinstripes, winning 134 games for the Yankees, and was a 3-time All-Star in the Bronx. He's one of only 3 left-handed pitchers in MLB history to have both 250 career wins and 3,000 career strikeouts. Here he is, Karsten Charles C.C. Sabathia. Well, he was already a legend in his native Japan when he signed with the Yankees in 2002, bringing his powerful bat to the Bronx. In his first game at Yankee Stadium in 2003, he launched a grand slam into the bleachers. He would spend 7 seasons in pinstripes and earned 2 All-Star appearances. In 2009, he had 28 home runs and had 90 ribbies. Saving his best for last, he set a World Series record with 6 ribbies in Game 6 en route to winning the World Series MVP award with a .615 average, 3 home runs, and 8 ribbies, helping the Yankees to their 27th World Championship. Let's welcome back Godzilla Hideki Matsui. A homegrown Yankee, he spent his entire 17-year career in pinstripes and was the latest in the long line of great Yankees catchers. In 2009, he had another stellar season, hitting .285 with 22 homers, 25 doubles, and 81 ribbies, with an additional 2 homers and 8 ribbies in the postseason. He was a 5-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger Award winner, and was a key member of 5 World Championship teams. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back Jorge Posada. He won 12 games as a rookie in '95. And his second season, he led the American League with 21 wins. For 15 seasons, he proudly wore the pinstripes, gave one of the most intense stares in from the pitcher's mound, and had one of the best pickoff moves anyone had ever seen, holding the Major League record for most runners picked off base by a pitcher. A 3-time All-Star. He was the 2001 ALCS Most Valuable Player. He's 3rd in Yankee history in wins, and no player has started more games in Yankees history than him. He is also the Yankees' all-time strikeout king. he was at his best in the postseason, holding the Major League record for most postseason wins. And in 2009, he won 4 of his 5 postseason starts, including the clinching game in both the ALCS and the World Series. And in Game 3 of the World Series, he got his first career postseason RBI with an RBI single that tied the game at 3 and came around to score the go-ahead run, a 5-time world champion. Welcome back, Andrew Eugene Pettit. Many might not remember that our next guest began his career as a starter before being moved to the bullpen. He was the 8th inning setup man on the 96 championship team, striking out 130 batters, just 107 innings. Then Joe Torre decided to hand him the closer's role in 97. You know what? Kind of worked out. He was a 4-time American League saves leader, 5-time American League Rolaids Relief Pitcher of the Year, and 3-time American League Delivery Man of the Year. In 2009, he became just the 2nd player in baseball history to record 500 career saves. And on that same night, he recorded his first and only career RBI. A 13-time All-Star, he was even better in the postseason. He has the lowest postseason career ERA in baseball history. He holds the baseball record for most postseason saves with, coincidentally, 42. He was the 03 ALCS MVP, the 99 World Series MVP, a 5-time world champion. He was the first player ever to be unanimously elected to baseball's Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to enter Sandman, baseball's all-time saves leader, number 42, Mariano Rivera. Our final guest really needs no introduction. He was a 14-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, 5-time Silver Slugger Award winner, the 96 American League Rookie of the Year, the first player to win the All-Star Game MVP and World Series MVP in the same season. He has the 6th most hits in Major League history and is a 5-time world champion. In 2009, he had another stellar season, hitting .334 with 27 doubles, 18 home runs, and stealing 30 bases. And on September 11th of that year, he passed the great Lou Gehrig to become the Yankees' all-time hits leader. In the postseason that year, he kept it going, hitting .344 with 8 extra base hits and scoring 14 runs. The face of the Yankees franchise for almost 20 years. Please welcome back the captain.
Number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, all of these players are threads through the fabric of Yankees history. Let's give them a great hand. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise? Let us now spend a moment in silent prayer as we remember those members of the Yankee family who we have lost since last Alzheimer's Day. Alan Carr, Joseph Carrieri, Anna Francesca Guzman, Grantley Kirby, Rachel Manaya, Paul Polino, Ray Picone, Francesca Rodriguez, McCoy Smith Jr., Jake Ryan, Armando Talavera, Kathy Tusiani, Zunel Juan Rose, Linda White, Jake Wisniewski, Mike Ferraro, Billy Gardner, Don Gullett, Whitey Herzog, Ken Holtzman, Frank Howard, Fritz Peterson, Arlene Howard, and Joan Ford. Thank you. And please remain standing. Robert Merrill was a mainstay at Alzheimer's Day when he would sing either our national anthem or America the Beautiful. Now the Yankees would like to pay tribute to number 1.5 with his rendition of our national anthem. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce my fellow Yankees broadcaster, Susan Waldman, who's going to take it from here for a fun Q&A session with our guests.
Joe Girardi, the manager of this team. Get your mic. I'm on the wrong line. Okay. So Joe Girardi, 2008, takes over. Last year at the old stadium, no playoffs, no nothing. You come back 2009. What is the feeling in there? It always reminded me of 1990, 97, and 98.
Well, the feeling was we added a lot. 2 top-of-the-rotation guys. We added a big bat at first base. And it was just an incredible feeling. You felt like it was going to be a special year after a very disappointing year in 2008. And these guys really dedicated themselves to being great.
Okay, 2 guys that came. That mic looks a little short. CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett. Can you come up to this microphone, please? Come on. Let's go. Both of you. CC, by the way, it was rumored that he didn't want to come here, hated New York. He's still here. What was the feeling, C, when you came in here?
Oh, it was a good feeling. I was just excited that I wasn't coming alone. I remember bribing AJ to do my press conference. We did it together. But I just remember being excited. I remember Andy calling me right after I signed and just excited that I was going to be here. So I think we got off to a good start chemistry-wise.
Okay, CC, first game that year didn't go so well for you, and everybody's going, uh-oh, because you know what happens in New York.
Yeah, I mean, first game in Baltimore, I think I gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. But I just remember, you know, just trying to get my feet wet and just trying to get my feet under me to make sure that I could have a good season. And, you know, that the first one wasn't a good start.
Okay, first game, notwithstanding tied and Major League best with 19 wins. By the way, from August on, 9-0 in 11 games, 2.04 ERA. MVP of the LCS. What did you think of him?
Well, CC was a horse. I mean, obviously, it was someone that you could count on. 230 innings during the regular season. And I would love to bring Andy up, too. Andy, come here. Andy Pettit. So, CC, you've had to answer all the questions yet, so we're going to let these two answer, and you can help. Over 200 innings, AJ. 195 innings, Andy, at 37 years old. And we went to a 3-man rotation. How'd you guys do it?
Well, I think you called me in the office and said, hey, I'd like to go to a 3-man rotation. What do you think? And these two fellas says, heck yeah. And I said, well, let's do it. So, you know, you put your mind to it. You make little adjustments as far as you're throwing. And you got a chance to win a championship, and everybody thought it was a good idea. And I sure in the heck wanted the ball, so I said, let's go.
AJ Burnett came in here. By the way, 17 walk-off wins. Pie. I remember standing here, and people are yelling, we want pie. We want pie. How did you get that idea?
I started that a long time ago in Florida, but it was different here because it's never been done here.
Did you have to ask somebody permission?
No, I kind of just did it. I got everybody but number 2. I think he was on deck. I think he was on deck 4 times, and I never could get him. So I'm still going to get you one day. But it was something special.
Do you know that AJ, I always knew when it wasn't Ready Whip, because he'd always whisper in the air, I'm out of the Ready Whip, don't eat it, it's shaving cream.
That was one time. That was Mr. Swish. We had whipped cream down there. The boys took care of it, always had it in there, and the one time they didn't, I had to pie Swish, and then just make sure you don't eat it.
By the way, the World Series is very different without AJ Burnett and Game 2.
Yeah, what was your thoughts going in? We lost Game 1 here. We didn't score a lot of runs that first night. CC pitched really well. We just didn't score runs. What was your thought going into Game 2?
Man, all I remember is leaving the locker room. I had my son in my arms, and he was upset that we didn't win the first game. And I just remember saying, hey, I got this. Showed up the next day, had a concert in right field. I was loose, and everything seemed to clip. Everything I threw, me and Jose, it was just a special night.
Let's bring some other guys.
Okay, there were a couple of other new guys. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I remember standing in the clubhouse one day, and this guy walked in, and he was laughing and yelling, and somebody that's sitting there said to me, is this guy for real? And I said, I think he is. Nick Swisher, come on up here.
I've been waiting for this all day. Let's go.
All right. Swish, your first year you come over, they brought you over possibly to play first base, possibly to play right field. Xavier Nady gets hurt in right field, and you go on to have a really good year. But was it hard for you at times, because you had 29 homers and 80-something RBIs, hit 8? Like, did you think I was crazy?
I mean, all you got to do is look these gentlemen behind me, and I'll hit 8 gladly, 100%. Just the fact that I was blessed enough to put the Yankee uniform on, win a World Series here, man, I'll never forget those days.
See, the thing that's amazing about Swish, he was always like this, and he walked in here, and he had no job. Mark Teixeira was at first base. Xavier Nady was in right. I do remember the pitching performance, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, when you start on the bench for the New York Yankees, you just got to be ready for any time your name gets called. And I got my game 3 in Baltimore, and then from there, the rest is history.
Was that inning that you pitched in 2009 the highlight of your career?
Oh, yeah, I definitely remind Gabe Kapler of that once a month, you know, just to remember how I struck him out, you know?
What was it feeling like when you won that finally to be a World Series champion?
Well, I think when you take a group of individuals, come from all over the world, all different walks of life, and the fact that you can come together as a team to win a championship, to have a common goal, it was a blessing for all of us. And all of you guys that are Yankee fans, you know how amazing this place is. 27-time World Series champions. We're going to bring one home to y'all real soon.
Thank you,
Georgie. Georgie, come on up.
Okay. I'll defer to the manager.
Yeah, Georgie, thanks for getting here. I know you had some flight issues yesterday. We love it. 5 championships, Georgie. Yep. 38 years old in 2009, right? Just an incredible year you had. Big hits, big home runs. You and Matt Sue going back-to-back. Big RBI singles. What did that World Series mean to you that year?
A lot, because obviously we were coming to this stadium, and I was getting older, obviously, and just a lot, very meaningful, just the way we got together as a team, and we did it with the best people in the world, and obviously the best city in the world and best fans in the world.
Obviously, you know, you guys have done it 13 years before. What was the difference from 96? It's a long time later.
Yeah, you're talking about the guys that were able to be there that year and got a chance to do it again. But the key pieces that was signed that year made us, you know, win that in 09.
One of the people that was there, thank you, Georgie, Johnny Damon. You here? Come on up here. Left fielder Johnny Damon. Okay. First hit in the new stadium right here. This guy.
Yep, that's right.
What was it like for you before we get to Philadelphia and the hit off of Brad Lidge and stealing second and stealing third? What was it like for you coming over here?
Oh, it was fantastic. You guys remember me hitting home runs against your team, and we won the World Series up north, but it was so great to join this team. David Wells told me if you ever had the chance to put on the pinstripes, do so, and I did, and I loved it, and I loved playing for Joe. Yeah, Joe was absolutely amazing, like the best manager in baseball. And
thank you, John.
How do you not have a job right now? You're the best.
I do. I'm a broadcaster, Johnny. It's a good job. Hey, I want to ask you, last night you gave a heartfelt speech, and I don't want to embarrass you, but I thought it was fantastic. Could you just quickly, because we only have so much time, touch on a few of the points you made about family and kindness and your teammates?
Yeah, well, when Joe came here, he made sure that our kids can hang out. Winning or losing the game does not dictate how you treat your family. And I have a big family. I have 8 kids, and I love it. And Joe Girardi was absolutely amazing, and I wanted to keep playing for the Yankees and keep on winning because I did my best to bring the CCs, the AJs to this team. I'm a great recruiter, and people love me, and I love everybody, and that's why this team was unbelievable. Oh, yeah, and Alex. I've known Alex since we were kids, and this guy, he showed up. He was the absolute best in the playoffs, and that's a big reason why we got to the World Series and we were able to win. And everybody here, I mean, Jeet, amazing. You got Mo, you got Pettit, you got Posada. Oh, Godzilla. Yeah. And like the whole team, Molina, AJ, everybody, Gene Monahan, and what Joe Torre brought to this team right before, and what the tradition of winning, gotta bring your A game every single day, and that's exactly what we did.
Thank you, Johnny. Okay, Francisco Cervelli, where are you? Serving. Come on over here. Or over there. That's good. Okay, Francisco Cervelli comes up when both Posada and Molina go down. You were hitting 190 in Double-A. You come up, you save this team in Atlanta. Talk about Atlanta.
Yeah, well, Cash made a trip to Atlanta, so I knew that we were in a little trouble, boys. And he had to talk to the team about how good they were, and it would get back on track. But Servy came up with a game-winning RBI that was huge, and we really took off after that. But Servy, talk about your time coming up as such a young player, but playing such an important role.
Well, I was a very privileged man. I was in Double-A hitting nothing. I came up here and I said, I'm not going back to minor leagues again in my life. And Posada got hurt, Molina got hurt. I was here by myself, nervous. First game I got CC, complete game, and after that was different. Everything was different. These guys teach me how to play baseball the right way, how to win, and how to enjoy this game.
By the way, when we got to Atlanta, they had lost 5 of 6, 5 games back, then went 13-2 after that trip to Atlanta. You got thrown out on purpose, didn't you?
I did. I think Gardy was called out at first base, and Bill Welke was the umpire. And I walked out to Bill and started arguing with him, and he was like, Joe, I'm not going to throw you out. And I told him I wouldn't leave until he threw me out. Stood there, kept arguing. He finally threw me out, and that's when these guys took over. They were unbelievable after that.
Servy, you did such a great job that year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex.
Alex.
Your turn, Alex. Come on, Alex. Yeah, you.
Okay, so Alex is hurt. He's got a hip thing. Doesn't go to spring training. Comes up. First pitch he hits. Boom. I turned to John Sterling and said, I guess you don't need spring training.
He obviously did. A 3-run homer, and we ended up winning that game, and it was so great to get in your line. But I want to ask you about the postseason. What's it like to feel like you're in the zone for that long?
You mean for the month of October?
Yeah.
It was awesome. I mean, I think you're right, Susan. I think when I got back, CC threw a complete game shutout. We won 3-0. And I think from that day on, we went 90-40. And it was just amazing to go with that type of momentum and rhythm into the playoffs. And then when you have a lineup like this, Skip, you put out the same lineup every single day. And we were like brothers, and having Matsui behind me, Tex in front of him, and then G and Johnny Damon. To hit cleanup in a lineup like that is a dream come true. So team effort, and I was glad to be a part of it.
30 home runs in 5 months, 100 RBIs, walk off in the 15th inning in Boston. We don't get out of Minnesota without this guy right here.
The way you got Joe Nathan that day in Game 2, you get him for a 2-run homer in the 9th, and it just propelled you the rest of the postseason, and you were fantastic. And we're all grateful to you.
I want to change subjects a little bit because I walked out in the parking lot one night, I can't remember what year it was, and you and Lou Piniella are in the parking lot doing batting stances. You were in an awful slunt. What did Lou Piniella mean to you?
Well, Lou is the greatest of all time. First of all, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Lou is like a father figure to me. Much ways like Joe Torre is a father figure to our 4 stars, our icons, Jeter, Pettit, Mo, Posada, Bernie. That's the type of relationship that I had with Lou. He taught me everything about the game of baseball. Incredible gratitude to have such an incredible person and a man, teach you. And I love him, and there should be more Lou Piniellas.
I wanted to bring up Lou Piniella because once a Yankee, always a Yankee. Does everybody know here that Tino Martinez is here because Lou Piniella made sure he got traded to the Yankees? Yes. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Hey, Damaso Marte.
He's over there.
Come on, Damo. Hey, Gino, will you go up with Damaso? Yes, go stand next to Damaso, Gino.
Well, no, Gross is there.
Oh, okay. But I want Gino up there.
Dime, un traductor.
Go ahead.
Okay, Damaso. 2009, right? You had a click. Remember, you had a click. You would tell Gino, I got a click. We said, what's that mean? He goes, in my shoulders. See, he still goes to it, right? You missed most of the season. You were there April, then you were out May, June, July, came late August, September, right? In October, pitched a little bit in the first series, a little bit more in the second series. But you were really an unsung hero in the World Series. You dominated Utley, Ibanez, and Howard. I want to know what Gino did to make it click.
Que dominaste toda la serie mundial después que no pichaste mucho.
Primeramente, gracias a la fanaticada, a la directiva, pero dile.
First of all, thank you to the fans and the office of the New York Yankees.
A los Yankees y a los peloteros que jugaron que yo jugué con ellos. Traduce.
To all the Yankees and all my teammates.
The click I have, piché un poco, pero gracias a Dios los Yankees creyeron en mí. Joey Torres creyó en mí. Pude hacer el trabajo a pesar de la lesión.
I had a click in my shoulder, but they still believing in me. I made it through, and everyone believed, and I was there at the mound.
Thank you. Gino, one of the greatest trainers of all time. How many times did you rub that shoulder, Gino?
How many times did I do what?
Rub that shoulder.
I'm not sure how many times I rubbed his shoulder, because we rubbed a lot of shoulders. You know, folks, people ask me all the time, what is the difference between all those years and right now? They're wonderful right now. They are really good and a tremendous team and a good bunch of fellas. And I will say this, all we ever did under Joe Torre and all these other great managers and captains that we had, all we did was win. And winning is everything. And you people know that. They asked me who my favorite player was. Nobody wasn't allowed to have a favorite. They're all my favorites, and I know there are yours too.
Thank you.
Love you, Gino.
Okay, we got 5 minutes left. Last year, Kevin Cash was here, and the guys came out, and he said, boy, they look like friggin' movie stars. Still do. Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Andy Pettit. One more time up here, please. You guys have talked already. We have to get Matsui up here, too.
Matsui?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matsui. Come on, Matsui. Matsui.
The MVP of the 2009 World Series, Hideki Matsui.
So, Matsui, I got a question for Matsui. When you signed here, did you ever imagine that it would be as good as it was in 2009?
Yeah. Derek Electric.
Yeah. Everyone understand in Japanese? No? Okay.
He couldn't hear the question. Can you repeat that?
Did he ever imagine it would be as good as it was in 2009 when he signed here?
Yes, I know.
2009年こんなにすごい素晴らしいキャリアのシーズンになる
いやもうねそれを信じてここでねヤンキースと契約したし、私の最後の年でしたけどねそれが叶ってもう本当に幸せです。私のキャリアのこれがハイライトでした。
Yeah, I mean, that's what I believe, and that's why I signed with the Yankees. But it was just really a dream come true to be able to accomplish that in my last year with the Yankees.
Jorge and Matsui, which one of you is Pedro's daddy? Which one of you is Pedro's daddy?
Okay, there were a lot of things that happened. Derek Jeter setting the all-time which was better, the 500 save or the RBI?
500 saves or RBI?
Oh, definitely. You translate. Thank you.
You translated, right?
Yeah, he just translated for me. I definitely think was the RBI for sure. I mean, I work. Definitely the RBI.
Hey, did you guys, Mariano and Derek, what was the difference? I mean, this was your kind of last one that you got together. You had done it, you were kids in 1996. What was the difference for all of you guys?
Go ahead, bro. What is the difference? You're older now, so they're 50.
Not now.
The difference between 96 and 2009, doing it as a kid and doing it as an adult.
I think any...
I'm going to start.
Go ahead.
Well, the difference was that in 96, I was 26. In 2009, I was maybe 46. Something like that. But different. I mean, it was the same because, I mean, you just won the World Series. So it didn't matter if we were just 96 or 2009. The point is that we brought the championship back to where it belongs. And that was the matter.
Derek, what did that year feel like to you?
I have no idea what Mariano just said. But I'd say in 96, we were young. We're experiencing everything for the first time. You start to get to 2009, there was an expectation level with this organization every year. It doesn't make a difference what you do during a 162-game schedule. It all boils down to the World Series. And you win a championship or the season's a failure. And I think we felt that more as we got into the later years, especially in 09.
Well, we have a game to play, and I've been told I got to wrap this up. I thank you so much for all being here. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And Jack Hurry with you. And Jack, as always, a great celebration and some great memories of that 2009 championship season.
So many cool stories. And Bob, we get the chance to listen to these players talk about their careers, but I also love hearing the players talk about each other and how their camaraderie and their chemistry meant so much to them. Predictably, Derek Jeter got the biggest ovation of anyone. Everyone was waiting for the captain to amble onto the field. And I love what Jeter said at the end of the ceremony right there, Bob, about how there was an expectation. You were on the Yankees. They were expecting to win in 09, and they did.
You know, I think it's also a great, and the Yankees do this so great, not only Old Timers Day today, but celebrating a championship team and sort of connecting it to, again, is it symmetry? 15 years, that's a good round number, right? But then they look ahead to the 2024 team and sort of the common thread that could stretch from that championship to perhaps another championship.
I asked Aaron Boone before the game, what would you like your players to take away from interacting with the 09 team? And he talked about that 09 team had a championship pedigree. Those guys are walking around with rings. So even if it's one nugget, Bob, even if it's one thing about mental strength, Boone was hoping that the 24 team soaks up everything that 2009 team was about.
Well, we thank you for joining us. A big day of baseball here on Yes, featuring the 76th Old Timers Day and a celebration of the 2009 World Series champions. Thank you so much for joining us here on Yes.